Welcome back to the podcast, and thanks for joining us. My name is Ketuk. The name of the podcast is Catch It, A New Perception. The whole idea is that you can catch a new perception every day of your life. You can co-create something new every moment of your life. You have the ability to be able to change the way you think by taking different action. You have the ability to be able to change the way you feel by changing how you think. Many of you have probably heard the term, the grass is greener on the other side. Or, is the grass greener on the other side? Or whatever little inversions of that saying that you want. The grass is never greener on the other side. It just looks like it is. The perception is that the grass is greener on the other side. The grass is greener where I water it. So what am I putting into whatever that situation is? What am I getting out of whatever that situation is? You could use a lot of different ideas. I'll throw one out there like work. Someone works in a particular industry and they bounce around and they go from this place to this place to this place, and the grass always looks greener over there because they think it looks better because they're not watering the grass where they're at. Somebody else is watering it over there. They're not watering it over there. It just looks greener because somebody else is watering that grass. And they're not watering the grass where they are. In the sense of being dissatisfied with your employer, with the terms that you agreed to coming in, or terms change because there's new management, and you're dissatisfied. The grass looks greener over there. And then you go to the next place, and now the grass looks greener at the next place, not where you presently are, which was the next place, but now is this place. Is the grass greener? Of course it is when you water it. What are you putting into it? What are you saying about your job and where you're at? And what are you hearing, which may or may not be true, about another place of employment that looks similar? Same type of work. People say, oh, this is a great place. Say you're a server, and people say, oh, this is a great place to work. Oh, yeah, blah, blah, blah. Well, however, as a server, it may look very good. Well, what that person does at their place of employment makes it a very good place for them to work. You're a server somewhere else, but you don't do the same things that they do. So when you transfer over to a new place to be a server, it doesn't look quite the same because you don't do what they do. You don't give the customer service they give. You didn't realize that you'd have to do a little more work to get a little more satisfaction. The grass isn't greener anywhere other than where the sun shines and the water falls. Is the water falling on your grass, under your feet? Do you water it? Do you put something into it? Your place of employment. You could talk about your relationship, whatever. And say you have a significant other and it's going along really well, and then all of a sudden somebody else gets your attention and they have your undivided attention, and you have a significant other at home that you're not giving that same attention to, so the grass looks greener on the other side because you're giving the attention to the new person. You're not giving that same attention to someone at home because your feelings got hurt, because you feel like you're neglected in a certain way. Now, you may be neglecting them, but you're leaving that part out of the scenario. That's what you don't want to talk about. That's what you don't want to think about. You're neglecting them and you're giving the attention somewhere else. So, whether it's your place of employment, with your significant other, whatever that may be, what are you doing to water that grass? Are you taking care of yourself? Are you co-creating what you need to within your life to make sure that the grass that's under your feet is being watered better than any other grass out there? Are you allowing the sunshine in? Are you getting out of the way so that the sunshine can hit that grass just the way it needs to allow it to grow, to be green? You're dumping too much fertilizer on it, not enough love. I don't know. The reason I talk about this today is because I realize that it's a perception thing. This isn't necessarily reality that the grass is greener on the other side. Because you get to the other side and you're standing in the same shade of green that you were in, and now it kind of looks greener back where you were. It might just be an attitude thing as much as anything. You're carrying your attitude over, and you seem to be over-fertilizing, not allowing enough natural rain, not getting out of the way so that it can be watered the way it needs to be watered. Many options. I could give you a lot of different scenarios other than work or maybe in a relationship with a significant other. There's many different scenarios that you can draw up. What is it you're going to do? How much effort are you going to put into your job where you are? Or do you act like you're putting in effort and play the victim? You could do that in a relationship also. Well, they never do this, and I wish they would, and I can't, but they don't, and... Or is it waking up and seeing what you can do for someone else? One thing I believe that can allow us to feel really good is when we do for others. What if that was your boss? What if that was a coworker? What if that is your significant other that you're going to do for? Don't get me wrong, it's beautiful to do it with strangers. And when I say stranger, they don't get any stranger than some of my friends. So I'm not saying strange people, I'm saying people we are unfamiliar with in our daily lives. So, what if we want to create that with them? What does that do for us? Does that allow us to go back into our place of employment? When we're doing things for people that we don't know, through volunteering, through service work, whatever that is. And then we go into our home or our place of employment and we're able to offer that same type of human service to that one, that significant other, that boss, that coworker. If we're feeding it that way, maybe we'll get fed differently. Maybe the grass will look the greenest under our feet. It couldn't look any better. Couldn't be any more plush, any more green, any longer. It's beautiful. What are we putting into it? What are we telling ourselves and what are we telling them? What are we putting into our subconscious? What are we putting into their subconscious? Not just by what we tell them, what we show them. What we show them will be by far more important than what we tell them. How we show up. You have a significant other, and you go out of your way to create a date with them each week. You don't really have the finances, so you say, I don't have the money for a date night. How about a cup of coffee? Would it be in the budget for a cup of coffee for you and for them to be able to get out of the house and just go spend some time together and conversate without the phone in hand, without messaging other people, looking at social media? Just go on a date with them. You're not on a date with them in social media. You're not on a date with them and other coworkers. It's not like that. Even if you're married, you should be able to date them. You should be able to go out on a date. Maybe dinner, maybe coffee. Maybe you have another beverage you would prefer. Go out and have a drink or two, whatever that might be. It's not my style. It's not my life. I wouldn't do that because I don't need to consume alcohol to get comfortable. I need something in my life where I'm watering the grass under my feet. Am I doing it? Am I putting as much into other people's subconscious as I am my own? Am I being of service to people? Am I able to be a good example through my actions? Or do I still talk a good game with no follow-through? Because at one time that was my life. Now, I like to examine it, and sometimes I'll even ask people. One place where I volunteer, I ask them, am I still relevant? Do you guys still want me doing this? Do you appreciate me showing up here every week? In a general way, when I do ask, people say yes. And then individually, some of them come up to me and say, nobody could do this better than you do. They may not use that terminology. That's the spirit that they carry. They're trying to communicate to me that they appreciate me and they want me to continue to volunteer doing what I'm doing. That's precious. If you can volunteer and help other people, and then there's a group of people that you're helping on a regular basis, and they say, we would rather you be doing this than anyone else. We appreciate you. That allows the grass to be a little greener under my feet. By being involved in a monogamous, intimate relationship, knowing that I put what I need to into it, I'm able to realize that the grass is greener under my feet because I'm watering it. At my place of employment, to do what I can to walk in with a good attitude. Even when my life is busy and I'm running from sun up to sundown, doing other things, volunteering, taking care of things, helping other people, I go into work with the best attitude I can. That allows me to have the greenest, plushest, longest green grass under my feet. That's what I want. To me, the grass doesn't look greener on the other side. Maybe some of that has to do with doing this podcast. What's it look like? What's the grass under your feet look like? What's the grass on the other side look like? And where and how are you watering which grass? If someone else is watering the other grass, the grass looks greener over there, I would also be very conscious of that. before you can make some poor decisions that take you down a place you don't want to go. Looking forward to next time. Live in harmony with and use the bounty of the land to bring kindness to the world. Dok Shao Ke.